Have you ever actually stopped to think about a phrase like letting the cat out of the bag? I mean, picture it. It makes absolutely zero sense, right? Well, our language is just littered with these bizarre phrases, hiding in plain sight. So let's dig in and figure out why.
What we're talking about today are linguistic fossils. You can think of this as a kind of archaeological dig, but instead of uncovering bones, we're uncovering the hidden stories behind the strange things we say every single day.
You know exactly the ones I'm talking about. Phrases like kick the bucket or spill the beans. Now, if you're learning English, these must be completely baffling, because on the surface, they're just utter nonsense.
But here's the really cool part. These phrases aren't just random mistakes. They're basically artifacts, little time capsules from a different era. The original logic that made them make sense has been lost, leaving us with all these strange linguistic puzzles to solve.
Okay, so let's start by getting on the same page. What exactly is an idiom, and what makes these phrases so weird in the first place?
This definition really gets right to the heart of it. An idiom is a phrase where the whole thing means something totally different from its individual parts. You can't decode it word by word, you just have to know it as a single chunk of meaning.
I mean, just look at these classics. Take the bucket has nothing to do with kicking. Spill the beans isn't about making a mess in the kitchen. And bite the bullet is definitely not a piece of dietary advice. The real meanings are completely disconnected from the words you're actually seeing.
So why do we keep using them? It's actually pretty simple. Language is built to be social, not always logical. As long as everyone in our group agrees on what it means, the literal sense of the words just doesn't matter. It's all about that shared understanding.
And this brings us right to the core of our little investigation. How in the world do perfectly sensible phrases lose their logic over time? Let's look at the evidence.
It turns out there are usually four main culprits. First, the original situation just vanishes. Think of an old job or a tool nobody uses anymore. Second, a metaphor that was once really vivid just gets fossilized into a set phrase. Third, the words themselves can change meaning or disappear from the language. And finally, an entire cultural practice, like an old farming or sailing technique, just fades into history.
All right, now for the fun part. Let's crack open a few of these cold cases and finally reveal the original logic that's been hiding inside all this time.
What's so fascinating here is just how practical and specific these origins are. Spill the beans? Yeah, that came from ancient Greece, where they literally used beans to cast secret votes. Or mad as a hatter? That wasn't just a funny image, it was a real tragic medical condition caused by mercury poisoning in the hat-making industry. As you can see, every single one has a surprisingly logical backstory, from battlefield surgery to medieval market scams. Here's a great one from the world of sports. When you're saved by the bell, you might think of school, but that's not where it comes from. It's from the boxing ring. A fighter, on the ropes, about to be knocked out, is literally saved from defeat by the bell that signals the end of the round.
And yeah, sports are a huge source for these. Sticking with boxing, when you throw in the towel, you're giving up. And that comes from the literal act of a trainer throwing a towel into the ring to signal surrender for their fighter. It's a real thing.
Okay, so we've got idioms with lost contexts, but now let's talk about a category of idioms that actively defy the laws of physics.
Yeah, I'm talking about pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Go ahead, try it. You literally cannot do it. It's physically impossible. But that doesn't matter one bit, does it? Because we all agree it means to succeed through your own efforts. This is where our shared meaning completely steamrolls reality.
So, if their origins are forgotten, and they often make no logical sense, why are these linguistic fossils still everywhere in our day-to-day speech?
They survive because they're actually really powerful social tools. For one, they add color and personality to our speech. Using them correctly also signals that you're an insider, that you're fluent. They help build a shared identity, and maybe most important of all, they let us pack a really complex idea into a short, catchy phrase. And this, of course, is exactly why idioms are an absolute nightmare for anyone learning a new language. You can't look up the words in a dictionary, there's no logic to fall back on, their meaning has to be absorbed culturally, while a learner is trying to analyze it, a native speaker just knows. So, let's wrap all this up by taking a step back and looking at the big picture, what these strange phrases really tell us about ourselves. Here is the single most important thing to remember from all of this. These illogical idioms aren't mistakes. They are, truly, linguistic fossils, preserving little bits of our collective history right inside the way we talk. Every time you use one, you're tapping into a forgotten world,
A world of ancient voting systems, brutal surgeries without anesthesia, old sailing terms, and dusty market scams. Our words remember the things that we've forgotten.
Ultimately, these fossils teach us three huge truths about language: that it's deeply historical, that meaning is created by all of us together in a community, and that when it comes to communication, strict logic is often optional.
Which leaves us with one last question to chew on. What about the phrases we use today, like doom scrolling or spill the tea? Are those going to be the linguistic fossils of the future? Will people a century from now use them without having any idea what a Twitter feed or a viral meme even was? What are we saying right now that will become the next layer in our language's long history?